Hello, everybody. Welcome. We have a very interesting subject matter or talk today. It will deal with the many paths to God. There are multiple paths, thousands of approaches if you go outside looking for God. When I say outside, I'm talking about outside this body, looking for God outside through holy books, through different religion. There are thousands of religion. If you were to get the publication, I think it's the Atlantic magazine, published in 2002, they said that religion is rapidly growing and expanding at a Darwinian pace. It's mutating. 2 to 3 religions are cropping up every day throughout the world. Isn't that astounding? So if you go that route, you don't have enough time to read all these different interpretations of religion because it's hard to get the right interpretation. But because I got lucky, I met a perfect living teacher. And he told me about how all of these systems ultimately turn into one path toward God. But in this world, there's several. And you can spend several lifetimes looking. But before we continue, I would like to say that if you like the content we have on this channel, please take a moment to subscribe and let us know how well you like this video. It really helped us to get the word out. Now back to what I was saying earlier. Right interpretation is extremely important. Let's look at a few of them. Buddhism. Buddhism got scores of different offshoots of itself. Let's look at the Islamic religion. There are dozens of offshoots of the Islamic religion, Mohammedanism. Dozen of them. Let's look at Judaism. The Jewish religion got also many offshoots and different versions of itself. We can come down to the Christian religion. There are hundreds and hundreds of Christian religion. Somewhere I read it's almost 1,000 different expressions of Christianity. And they all have different offshoots. Catholicism, you got the Mormons religion, you got the Baptist religion, you got the Methodist religion. You got so many different versions. And some of them have their own holy books. Is that the only way you can find God, by reading and straining your intellect, trying to understand these scriptures? You go to church. All of these have buildings in which you go to at some point during the week, in which you study. But it's external study. You need to ask yourself, by seeking, do these people who have studied religion, who consider themselves to be scholars, have actually gone inside this body? Since I'm speaking to a Christian audience, Christianity in Luke, the Bible, 17:21, it says, the kingdom of God is within this human body. Isn't that astounding? You feel this body is you. They all say this body is a temple. You say, I'm already inside this body. They say you got to go deep inside this body. And if you can go deep inside this body, there is a portal, there is a doorway. Knock, and the door shall open. But where's the door? Let me try to make this short and sweet. You got 10 doors attached to this body. You got 2 doors at the eyeball level. These are openings, portals. These are door openings in which your attention flows throughout these 2 openings and mingle with this world. You have 2 openings at the earlobe level. These doors at the earlobe hear various sounds in this world. Then you got 2 doors at the nostril level in which you breathe, in which you pick up different kinds of scents and aromas that is expressing themselves in this world. Then you got the door at the mouth. That's one door there in which you talk and communicate or taste food and eat. So far we've counted 7 doors. One at the reproductive organ, in which babies are born through sexual activity. Then you have one at the buttocks, in which you get rid of all of the digested food in the human body through defecation. The 10th door is right behind the 2 eyeballs. They call it third eye center. It's vaulted down, fastened down very tightly. It only opens through certain processes of yoga. I'll go into the yoga later. But all of these 9 doors, other than the 10th, take your attention outward. The attention is running outside of this body. But all of the holy books said the same thing, that this human body is a temple, a holy place in which you should put your worship upon that door and open it up. We don't do that. Since I'm speaking mostly to a Christian audience, I'm assuming, in Luke, in the Bible, 17:21, the kingdom of God is within this body, within this temple here. But how do you go inside? That's the mystery. So let me go into the different religion. Religion takes your attention outside in this world, through holy books, through different types of scriptures, through listening to holy imams, to listening to preachers, different spiritual teachers and scholars and of those different religions. They put your attention on the holy books. And these holy books got multiple interpretation and expression. How do you arrive at the truth? You can spend a lifetime trying to study these religions and still not come up with the right interpretation. You can come up with different kinds of interpretation. But religion takes your attention outside. And if you look up the original meaning of the word religion, it means to return. Return where? Back to your original source of origin, wherever you came from, your home, your spiritual home, where God exists and can be found in all of his glory and power. How do you do that? The attention is the most valuable part in this body. But right now the attention is running outside these 9 doors, mingling with this world, making you feel that this world is real, making you feel even that this body that you're wearing is real. This body is nothing but a covering you're wearing. But that's what religion can take you, only that far. But if you get the real essence of what the religious founders talk about, because all these religious founders were able to go inside this body to some extent. That's how the religion started. They were able to take their attention and concentrate it through different kinds of yoga and open up this tightly vaulted down doorway and open it up, and they went inside. Some went to the first heaven, some went to the second stage, some went to the third stage, fourth, fifth. There are 5 spiritual regions, vast regions inside this body. But you have to go inside. Then you'll understand everything there is to know about religion through experience. Now, what is yoga? I spoke of yoga. Yoga is an attempt to unify your real self, which is your soul, with the oversoul, with the total consciousness, with the totality of consciousness. You got Hatha yoga, which is discipline. Hatha yoga deals with discipline. You discipline yourself. I'm not going to do this. I heard the preacher say this. I heard the rabbi say that. Let me try to discipline myself to get rid of these bad habits of using drugs or being dishonest. You try to discipline yourself and become a good human being. That's a slow methodology. It's a slower route. Then you got the method of karma yoga, which is the yoga of doing good deeds, good action, which is similar to Hatha yoga, but you do good deeds out of no concern for rewards. That's the highest expression of karma yoga, where you don't care about the fruits of reward. In the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about this. Don't be concerned with the fruits. Just be good to people, do good deeds, and don't be concerned with reward. That's one way of trying to get the highest type of practice of yoga. Then you got jnana yoga, which is the yoga of knowledge. Studying books, read scholars, read all the holy books that you can. Try to get understanding. Understanding takes place through Vivek, V-I-V-E-K. Vivek is clear understanding. How do you arrive at clear understanding? By studying these books. It's very difficult. It's also a slow route. Then you can get into mantra yoga. Mantra yoga deals with trying to control the mind, becoming more mindful, as some people say. How do you control the mind? You sit in meditation and you try to shut down the thinking process. You'll discover that 60,000 or more thoughts run through your thinking stream every day. How do you control these thoughts? They become automatic and create huge highways or grooves. And the mind is running all over the place. It's hard to shut it down. If you can shut it down, you can get some experiences. You can go into the astral plane. And with great willpower, you can go into the causal plane to some extent. But it's very difficult. These levels are hard to travel with the control over attention, which is running all over the place through thinking. God is defined as total consciousness, totality of consciousness. He's everywhere present, But he's total consciousness. He's only one. He's omniscient. He's everywhere powerful. He's everywhere present. And in order to go there, you need a highly advanced spiritual being, human being. The human being must be living. And then he can help you not get and go astray through improper interpretation. He will give you the right interpretation. So you have to be fortunate, and I was fortunate to meet such a being a long time ago. Got initiation, spent a lot of time with that being. Being became my friend. He told me I should do so many things, which I'll go into before the end of this talk. So let's get into yoga. Yoga, like I said, is an attempt to unify yourself with your Creator. Take your attention, that's what it means, and become more aware and experience the Creator. And you know what will happen when you go to the highest level of consciousness? You will become one with Him. Because God is total consciousness. You have individualized consciousness. It's the same consciousness that He got, but it's restricted with the coverings that you're wearing. You got several coverings. This physical body is a covering. It's a garment. It's like a suit, a coat you're wearing over your real self. When you get out of this body or when you die, you'll have another suit. We call it the astral body or the suit of the senses. That body has more knowledge, more awareness, more joy, more happiness. But that's still not the highest level. Then you got another level of consciousness if you get out of that body. You go to the causal stage of consciousness. And the causal body got way more knowledge than the astral bodies. That's where all of the records are stored, what you call Akashic records. But if you come down from the totality of the causal body, which houses the totality of space, the totality of time, and the totality of all causes and all knowledge. So as you come down, that knowledge gets reduced, but it's still expressed in a form in the astral world. You got Akashic records. They may not be as complete as the causal record. The causal record holds all causes, all knowledge, all power, all what look like all knowledge. And knowledge can be created at the causal level. Knowledge is not real, it's created there. So as you drop from the causal to the astral and come down to the physical, there are different levels of administrators as you go upward. This world got administrator. If you're in America, the president is considered a very powerful administrator. He controls all of the species. What species will be born this way, what species will be born that way, including the human species. What racial complex you'll be born in, how long you're going to live, how much money you're going to make, how many marriages you're going to have, how many children, how much education you're going to get, when you'll die. That being controls even that. He's a very powerful being. And as you go upward, you meet a being that controls even that being and all of the beings below. Each stage is like a hologram, a reflection of a reflection of a reflection. Now, let me go back to the physical world. When you die out of the physical world, there's something that pulls you out of the body. It is a strange sound. All of these holy books speak of a sound as being the creator. Let's look at it from a Christian point of view. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. That's in John 1 and 3. Chapter 1, verse 1 through 3. God, a word can create nothing. But that word is holy, is vibratory energy, is creating all of the stars, moon, planets in the physical universe, and all of the universes above. That word is God, actually. And when you die, you'll hear a vibrational expression of that being. And that vibration sounds like a bell. It starts off like a humming sound or electricity going through a wire. You put your attention on it, and as it gets into the bell sound, the harmonics changes. And it becomes like a vacuum cleaner, which sucks you out of the body, and you die. And you go to different heavens, or you go to hell, depending on how you live your life in this world. As you rise higher up, that sound changes. It can take on the sound of a horn, or train, or loud noise, thunder going in the sky. Huge. The Christian Bible talk of a trumpet. It takes you to the causal world. And that world looks just like all these worlds, except for the causal, look like this world. The physical world, the astral world, they look similar, but they're more perfect. The beings that exist in the physical world are not as pretty and handsome as the beings that exist in the astral world. As you go up, everything becomes more perfect, more wonderful, more joyous, more intelligent. You can look at some of my other talks. I go into much detail, but I don't want to bore you or interest your attention with these details. I like to say to anybody who's listening to me, if you wish to ask me any question, email me. I know I'm saying things quickly, creating a different kind of understanding that you may have never heard. I got a lot of talks. You can look them up, but please write me questions, and I will take my time and give you correct answers. But you can read one book. I'll recommend two. Betty Eady. She's a friend of mine. She's still living. She was on Oprah Winfrey. You can Google her. She actually died. I think it was in a hospital setting, and she went into the upper part of the astral plane. And she was walking in a garden, and she saw a flower. She was deeply in love with roses, and she had a thought in her mind, I wonder how it feels to become a flower. She actually became a flower. She felt her petals swaying to the beauty of the music in itself, and with the symphonic music outside in that world. Everything has musics in that world. Everything is lit up. Everything is more beautiful and more harmonious, like a symphony taking place in that world, including your own body is lit up. So she had this experience. And when it was time for her to go, after she met so many angels in that world, she wanted to stay there. And they told her, no, you can't stay here. You have to go back because you have people to talk to. You have to do your duty, meet your family responsibility, and also educate people that may be interested in seeking the truth. Because religion, she says in her book, got many purposes. Everybody in this world, according to her, are in different states of spiritual evolution. If you're in one religion, you have to pursue that one. You get tired of that and frustrated, you go to another one. After you learned the lesson and thinking in that religion, and it no longer appealed to you, there's another one. There are hundreds and thousands of these religions. She speaks that way. But anyway, let me come back to the physical world and talk about oneness, because she felt one with the rose. In the physical world, you can feel oneness too. If you're playing on a sports team, and you all as a team, you all feel one and separate from everybody else. You associate with each other. Automatically you gravitate toward the sports in which you are playing with. If you in the politics, you gravitate toward certain parties in the politics that you associate with. If you're business people, you gravitate in business. Teachers, they gravitate toward each other. Birds of the same feather flock together. A pigeon will never flock with an eagle. A fish in the ocean swim together in schools. Human beings, you associate with other human beings. Say if you're a gangbanger, you want to be around other gangbangers. You don't want to be around bookworms. When I was going to school and studying, people would signify on me, oh, this is a bookworm, and talk about me. It's only that I got respect when I started playing basketball, and they saw that I was good. So when you play sports, everybody will praise you if they're on your team, or even if they're part of your audience, or in that part of the country. They become one with you in that sense. Not really one, but they become one. They feel like they one. Now, when you go to the astral plane, you actually can become one with different things that you see, put your attention upon. When you go to the causal world, in the higher part of the causal world, you can become one with the minds of everything. You actually become one with total minds that exist there, with universal mind. So you can feel one with everything that exists in that world. And the being that controls that world, that being, whether she or he, feels like he or she is a god. He got so much power. He can control the destiny of everything in that world as below. But those positions are temporary. It's a counterfeit expression of God. It's not the real form. Everything has counterfeit expression, even in this world. Counterfeit money, counterfeit books. People are now talking about AI, counterfeit intelligence. But if you want to get the original, you have to seek. Going back to the Christian Bible, it says in Matthew, seek and you shall find. But you have to be a maniac. You have to be an inordinate, a ridiculous seeker. And then the universe will arrange for you to find. If you're superficial in seeking, you'll find something, but not the real thing. You'll find the level of seeking in which you were seeking for. But if you become intense and ridiculous, monomaniacal, one-pointed. Again, we go back to the Christian Bible, since I'm speaking to a Christian audience. In Matthew 22 chapter, 37th verse, it says, you must learn to love the Lord thy God with all thy mind, all thy soul, and with all thy body. You got to love him with everything and all thy heart. The Lord wants everything. You said it's hard. The only thing that can give you that is his vibratory energy, which is himself. So you listen to these sounds as they flow through these different regions. They have different tonality about themselves, different musical expression. And these expressions are very attractive and addictive. Like I said, the bell sound can pull you to the astral plane. The horn or the trumpet sound can pull you higher up. Then you have another sound that can pull you to self-realization. Then you have a sound at each stage. And the highest sound, they says like a bagpipe or flute or something like that. It's hard to use these words. We just use these instruments here to give you an indication. But these sounds are so addictive. When you hear them, you don't want to come back. You want to be with your original father or your original creator, which is in the ultimate stage or the ultimate level of consciousness. But in order to get there, you have to be lucky. I talked about as you think, so you become. Now, what can shut down thinking? Shurat Shabbat Yoga. Surat Shabd Yoga. Yoga means union. If you can unify yourself with the highest sound, and you can only do this through different stages with a perfect living master. You have to have a perfect teacher. You got to be lucky enough to create enough good karma or do enough discipline or yoga or something where you can win a spiritual lottery ticket. That's what I want. I didn't know I was going to win this ticket. I talk about it in different expressions. Just like you win a lottery ticket in this world, as the ticket becomes more precious, $1 million, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, multi-billions of dollars, everybody run to the lottery ticket. Some people don't have enough money. Some buy $1,000 worth of ticket. Some buy several thousand, they lose. Then you find maybe one or two people. One may buy one ticket for $1, knowing that they're going to lose, and they win. I was that one person who bought one ticket. But because I got lucky, I met a perfect living teacher. And he told me about how all of these systems ultimately turn into one path toward God. But in this world, there's several. And you can spend several lifetimes looking. And I talk about that also in my other talks. Yes, we do reincarnate. I don't care what you say. Lord is very merciful. He'll allow you to keep coming back here. And some people flunk various lessons. The low level of lesson is learning how to treat people. Are you kind? Another lesson, don't kill anything. Be nonviolent, because when you die, you want to go to the nonviolent one. But there's a violent one to go to. Don't kill anything, nor do you eat anything, nor do you participate in indirectly having different forms of consciousness which are housed in different bodies and support that type of killing. Love animals, don't eat them. You create bad karma when you do that, because this world is bad and good. If you mistreat people or hurt people, you got to pay for that at some lifetime. You may not pay for it in one lifetime because there are different kinds of karma. You got destiny karma, which is pulled from a bank account of several lifetimes, is stored, and it creates a human body. This human body is hard to get, and when it creates it, you should seek. And when you seek, that seeking is not lost. Even if you pretend to seek, and you pretend to go to church, because most people go to spiritual places. I don't care if they in holy temples or monasteries or different places of worship. They actually, in their subconsciousness, is saying, God, at least I've done this. They're taking out a spiritual insurance policy. God will pay them even if they pretend to worship him. He's so kind. He's so gracious. But he eventually, it's up to him to put you on the right path. It's up to him through your many lifetimes of seeking. If it's done with great intensity, he gives you the ticket and you become a spiritual trillionaire, not a billionaire. I can't even say trillionaire. Quadrillionaire is not even appropriate. You end up with all of the wealth that the Creator has. Everything that he got. And let me end on this note. In the Bible, in John, I believe it's 15 verse. And in the 16th chapter, you should read that. 15th chapter, 16th verse. Christ tells his disciple, I pray to my Father that he should make you exactly like me, because I'm one with the Father. And he'll give you everything. That means all of the physical universe, everywhere. You can travel everything in his playland. They got so many playland, astral world, causal world, salvation world. Beyond that, he gives you everything. And he'll make you a king. You'll be a co-creator with the creator. But each level got a reflection of a reflection of a reflection. And if you want to get the real thing, you got to get lucky. You can win $1 million and go to the astral plane. You can win several million and go to the causal, or $1 billion. But if you want to become a uncountable, I can't even say quadrillionaire, because you get all of the wealth of God. You actually become one with him. He gives you everything. He's playing this wonderful game of hide and seek. Your job is to seek, seek, seek with great intensity. And at this point, I'd like to end this by saying, if you have any questions, because I couldn't explain everything, don't hesitate to write me. And again, I'll be waiting to meet with you again when I give another talk. Thank you.